So, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for us to kick off with our first session of the day and explore the powerful relationship between wellness and success in our next session titled Thriving Under Pressure. To guide this fireside conversation, I'd like to welcome our moderator to the stage, Ms. Rima Sanghvi, founder and managing director of Maximus and Pinkathon. She has pioneered the largest movement dedicated to women's wellness, and through Pinkathon, she has created a powerful platform that has served as a stepping stone to fitness for countless women in India, encouraging them to prioritize their health and their well-being. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and give a very warm welcome to Rima Sanghvi. Come on, guys, give her a louder round of applause. Make some noise for Rima. Joining Rima on the stage, ladies and gentlemen, we have, of course, none other than Luke Coutinho, a pioneer in integrative and lifestyle medicine in India with over 14 years of experience in preventive health and holistic healing. He's been personally invited twice by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Luke is driving national initiatives to combat obesity, diabetes, and promote lifestyle medicine, including the Fit India movement, where he serves as wellness and lifestyle champion, leading transformative efforts like Bharat Lifestyle and Tips, free school menus. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and let's give a very warm welcome to the one and only Luke Coutinho, founder of Holistic Nutrition and a leader in integrative lifestyle medicine. Huge round of applause for Luke Coutinho.
Do we have the mic on? Thank you. Can you hear us correctly? Because I just, when I was listening to Rebecca, there was an echo. Can you hear us correctly? Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Luke. Thank you for coming to Inspire 2025, which is, one of its kind learning programs that IMA has introduced this year. And, it is a privilege for us that you have accepted our invitation. And, very rarely do we get a chance like this in our highly over-fatigued environment whereby we get to speak to Luke, right here within ourselves. And thank you all for turning up this early in Goa this morning. Okay, so Luke, before we start this, I think we need to pep up this crowd a little bit. So what is that one activity that you want to start with?
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm inspired in Goa. Y'all are awake by 10 o'clock. Yeah, I know Goa's changed over the last couple of years. It's not as exciting as it used to be. So it's good to see y'all awake at 10 o'clock. So actually, to pep y'all up, I'm not going to do jumping jacks and anything like that. I thought what we could do, which is relevant to your industry as you go out of this, all of us learn in set environments. It all sounds great while we're sitting and learning, but it's not practical to apply and put into action when we move out of that. So I'm going to do something that we recently taught the Indian Army. We did a whole session with the Army, with the IPS officers, the upcoming IPS officers, and they had one case study based on which I got selected to talk to them. They said, Luke, when we're at war, or whether it's our constable on the street or the village, blood pressure is 120/80 when we're standing armed. The moment we put our hand on the rifle or the gun, our pressure goes up 180 by 120. We're not even in combat, we're just prepared, but our pressure goes right up. How do we solve this problem? And please don't tell us to meditate, obviously. So what we taught is something that has been taught in the armies and the navies across the world, how to instantly reduce your blood pressure wherever you are, whichever situation you might be. You may be doing an event, you may be in a difficult situation with someone, or hopefully you're never in a situation where you've got to put your hand on a gun. The point is, we have that mechanism built in us already, everyone. All of us have it. And we can do it right now. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So can I stand, please?
Of course.
So technically, it's how we use our breath. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do pranayam. It's powerful. I'm going to ask you to work on this one simple thing. how we dropped the pressure of the person who has their hand on their gun from 180 back to 120 in less than a minute was simply by slowing down the exhale. So for example, right now, take an inhale. If your inhale, a full inhale is 4 seconds. For some of you, it may be 5 seconds. For some of you, it may be 3 seconds. Whatever it is, double your exhale. So let's say your inhale is 4 seconds. Your exhale should be 8 seconds. Slow. By slowing down your breath. And we're doing this through the nostril. So you'll see when you're hyperventilating, you will breathe through your mouth. But over here, you keep your lips closed, your mouth closed, and you inhale through the nostril, and you exhale through the nostril. So a 4 is to 8, a 3 is to 6. If it's a 2 is to 4, then you'll need to hit the gym right after this. That means your lung capacity is really low. If it's a 5 is to 10. We're going to do that right now, all of you, just to understand that this tool is with you when you step out into real life again. You can be in the most stressful situation. This is what we even teach pilots. We teach people in high-stress jobs. By just controlling their breath, because obviously by now you would have figured you can't meditate anywhere and at any time. But by just slowing down your breath. We handle a lot of the cricket team, and we handle elite sports like boxers in the heavyweight category. And the one thing that they learn at the start of their practice is, what is that one thing they do before a match? Cricket is different. It's spread over hours. Football is spread over 90 minutes. But boxing is spread over a fixed amount of rounds and a fixed amount of time. So now you can imagine the stress that goes on in a boxer's mind, or martial arts before the game. The only 2 tools that they use to calm down before that sport or that game is breath work. Music and breath work. Classical music and breath work. Heavy rap and breath work. It doesn't matter what music you're selecting, but anything that can slow down your breathing. And that's exactly what we're going to try right now. So each of you all establish your inhale. What is your inhale? Is it 3, 4, 5, 6? And just double your exhale. Now, maybe you won't get 8 seconds or 7 seconds, but that's going to teach you that the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. By using this, you're allowing your lungs to control your oxygen, carbon dioxide, respiratory exchange. By that, the magic is very simple. You drop 2 hormones, which is cortisol and adrenaline. These are your stress hormones. These are the hormones that keep your blood pressure up. These are your hormones that eventually cause diabetes, high blood pressure, if they don't come down. Now, all of us can shoot up cortisol and adrenaline, absolutely fine. But as soon as it comes down, we're okay. Today, life is different. We wake up, we put on the phone, we're moving from one stress to another, so cortisol and adrenaline stays high right through. That is when the damage starts to happen. So now, picture the guy, Luke, should I go to the gym? People are dying of heart attacks in the gym. That's not the problem. Speak to the person who's gone stressed to the gym, already has high cortisol and adrenaline, and now is lifting heavy weights. That's the burden for the heart. So let's try it right now. You can sit with your back straight, comfortable. You can close your eyes if you want. Okay, on your own count, because all of you will have different counts. Just focus on your inhale, a nice slow inhale. You don't have to push it. There's no prize for the longest inhale. And then you don't have to hold at the end. So just inhale like a wave, and then slow down the exhale to double and repeat. We're going to do 6 of these deep breaths. It should take you less than a minute, minute and a half. And then I just want you to observe how you feel at that particular time. When you open your eyes, whatever stress you have is still going to be there, but I want you to witness how you feel inside. Let's go ahead right now at your own count. You can keep your eyes open, closed, back straight. It's better for oxygen flow. And remember, you can use this tool wherever you are. Try to see what your average seconds for inhale is. And if you can double it with your exhale. Lighten up, uncross your hands, just be kind of easy. No rigid bodies. Take it easy. You can do this lying down as well. You can do this sitting in a car. If you're driving, just don't close your eyes. As you keep practicing this every day, even if it's a minute, what you're going to start to see is magic. Your inhales will slowly become 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. And that means your lung capacity is growing stronger. And that's something we need, especially if we're living in Mumbai and Delhi. We want stronger lung capacity to help us with the pollution, with all of these levels that we have around us. The stronger your lungs, The healthier your immune system, the lower your inflammation is, the better you are at exercise, sports, your stamina goes up, your endurance goes up, because your body can more effectively handle oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange. All right, we're over a minute and a half. How many of you did 4 seconds inhale? Put your hands up. Easy. How many of you did 5? Excellent. Any of you did 6? Fantastic. Managed to double the exhale? How do you feel right now? You feel a sense of calm inside. Like I said, okay, breathing and meditation is not to take away your problems in life. They're only meant to calm you down. A lot of people give up on pranayama and meditation because they go in with the expectation that, oh, all my problems will be solved. No, it's not for your problems to be solved. It's for you to be calm so you make better decisions, have better ideas, and you try to solve your problems not from a space of fear, but from a space of clarity. So this is one tool all of you have. And how many of you do pranayama regularly? Great. 2, 3 hands up. You'll notice that your practice can actually improve, and it uses the same concept of breath work. So this is something that someone can use wherever they are, in whatever situation.
Thank you, Luke. This was amazing. And do you suggest we practice this first thing of the day or any time of the day, and it just helps you? I mean, does this work best what time of the day?
See, I'm not a fan of putting people into a box with rigid rules that you must do this at this particular time. Usually when you wake up in the morning, if you've slept well, you've already woken up calm. You put your phone on immediately, you've lost your calm. So the point is, you can do this any time in the day. Any time in the day. Especially when you know you're feeling stressed out. Now, if you have a practice in the morning, you can make it part of your practice. Some people do it in the evening. But the point is getting it done. I think the message I want to leave everyone with is today, I stand on many stages across the world speaking to people. The question is, what actions are we going to take from what we hear today? What actions? This doesn't cost you more than a minute and a half in your life compared to the amount of trips that we need to make to the doctor when we lose our health. So I want to inspire each of you with the idea that, hey, this is easily doable. You can do it in the car if you forgot to do it at home. You can do it on your way home from work. You can do it when you're actually feeling stressed. Try it out. It works like magic. So anytime is okay to do this particular breath work. Now, there are certain breath works in pranayama that you're not supposed to do right before bedtime because it energizes you. So you don't do those, and the ones that you want to calm down, you do it especially when you're feeling stressed.
Thank you, Luke. So okay, we will get into the strategy of doing exercising and how we do it, and also the strategy of doing business. But before we get into that, this is a session of Inspire, and I would like to know what inspired you to get into holistic wellness, and what brought you onto this path, and then we'll take on from your journey from there.
I don't really have a story. I just think I was, as a human, I'm very curious. I live in awe of things happening around. I don't believe in linear moments in life. I don't believe, my mind will always challenge SOPs and SLAs, which doesn't make me great in certain industries, because I always believe that it's important to put infinite energy into boxes. So the whole point is, I believe in a concept called randomness, that every single moment in life, whether we've liked it or we don't like it, has contributed in some positive or negative way in our life. And the sooner we're able to accept randomness, the sooner we're able to, reduce anxiety. And this is something you learn in your line. My line is cancer. We deal with terminal patients every day. So some patients we will not see tomorrow. Some patients we will not see next week. And then when you go through life of people complaining, finding issues with small things, the negative energies constantly pulling one another down, basically life as we see it, you realize that all of us are just attached to an energy that is not really serving us. What inspired me to believe this was when we started having, a lot of cancers, especially hormonally driven cancers, are connected with deeply rooted emotional stress. Like you can see a type 2 breast cancer, and if it's not genetic in nature, you can relate it, and the patient will tell you, Luke, I've had deeply rooted emotional stress. I'm in a loveless marriage, I'm in an abusive marriage, I'm in whatever and ever. And that stress decreases your immune system, your hormones are out of whack, and we can get deadly diseases because of the emotions that we suppress and we do not channel. So a long time ago, 13 years ago, I got inspired to move in this line. I had a choice between medicine and I had a choice between cellular nutrition. I was confused. I studied in Goa, I studied at IHM, hotel management. That's when I learned food science and technology and deep nutrition. So I went to the US, I had a mentor over there, and I spoke to him. And he said, I think for the kind of brain you have, you want to start getting into the root cause of why people fall sick, the root cause of why people face addiction, the root cause of why some people can get relationships right and some people just can't. And that's the line I moved into. I moved into lifestyle medicine, where our job is to find the root cause of the disease and then work with doctors, manage the side effects of medications. So every day, every patient is like a new discovery for us. I have adult ADHD, so I can never sit in a chair and listen to a particular form. My mind has to move around, connect pieces of data, put it together, and finally come up with a plan that works for me and for the patient. So I think the inspiration has always been life. The other thing that's inspired me in life is people try to follow a cookie cutter approach. Everyone sleep for 8 hours, everyone meditate, everyone pray this way, everyone does this. And yet we're at a point in the world where hatred is rampant, disease is rampant. We're not getting better with a cookie cutter approach in life. And that's when I realized every human being is a bio-individual. All of us. Some bodies over here will be carb efficient, some won't. Some will do well on high protein, some won't. Some will do well on 6 hours of sleep, some will need 8 hours of sleep. Some will need to go to a gym, some can just get through by dancing, playing paddle, and playing a sport. So when you recognize and respect the individuality of every person, you start to treat them differently. You can't tell everyone, oh, sugar is bad for you. No, sugar isn't the cause of cancer. Poor lifestyle is. We all know that. So the point is, I think the inspiration is from our own patients' journeys, where we learn that even at this stage in life, we know such little. I think the biggest inspiration is seeing people who have disconnected themselves from nature. We were living in a world where we think we're above nature. We think we have AI, we have everything. You have all of that stuff, but the moment we disconnect from nature, that's when disease, anxiety, mental illness, all of these things start to creep in. But the moment we reconnect with nature, everything starts to get better because we are interconnected. And so I think these are the things that inspire me to.
No, I must not sit down and talk to you, so I have to stand. I mean, it's absolutely wrong for me to, and I'm like waiting to stand up and talk to you. But while you said nature, while you were saying these amazingly beautiful things to us here, this is a room of entrepreneurs who have chased their dreams and achieved, and we think we've achieved a lot in life, and now we feel that, okay, we're probably slowing down a little bit, but we're still at it. We're pursuing our dreams, we're going after it, and in the bargain there is anxiety, there is stress, and ours is probably one of the most highly stressed professions that we have. How do you think, I mean, of course, we understand that we need to make health our priority, but for us to show up, let's say for even this learning session, it took a lot of coaxing and convincing. What change of mindset does it require for us to show up, for us to ensure that we know that we just require 1.5 minutes for breathing, we know that we require maybe an hour for ourselves for self-care, but we don't do it, we don't show up, we don't give it. What does it require for a human being? Like, how do you make it your priority that fitness is the only other thing? Of course, when it hits us hard, then fitness becomes our priority, is my question to you.
Yeah, so number one, we're all sitting in a room, strip away your labels, or whoever you are right now. And this is what we do with our patients. Because you have patients coming in with entitlement. Oh, Luke, I have this industry, I built this business, I built this. I'm like, okay, now let's strip that away. You have cancer. What are you willing to do to get better? It comes down to that. Strip away your designation. Strip away whatever you've done. Great job. You've earned your place. Strip away. What are you left with? What are you left with? You're still a human being that needs everything for survival and to thrive. You need your sleep. You need your movement. You need food that nourishes you. You need great social connections and circles. All of that stuff. Our labels move us into a position of thinking that maybe we don't need to do this right now. The second thing about your industry, and I do this with everyone, every industry likes to think they're the busiest, the hardest job, and it may be true, but tell me, is everyone in your industry unhealthy and unfit? No, there are some people who are super fit and managing life well, and there's some who aren't. So it comes down to a choice. We tell pilots the same thing. Oh, Luke, we travel, we're changing time zones. I just asked them, is every pilot sick and unhealthy? The answer is no. There are some who are and some who aren't. Every CEO of top organizations of the world, is every CEO dying of a heart attack? Is every CEO sick and unhealthy? No, there are some who are and some who are not. So the first thing, I love what you said. The first change comes with a mindset change. If you have a mindset that is not serving you to make a change, That is your limiting factor right now, and it'll always be your limiting factor. You know, the human mind loves consolation. It loves justification of what we think is right. Okay, I'm going to drink tonight because just drink. Stop justifying because you want to feel that, you know, I'm not doing the wrong thing. Every human wants to overcome guilt through justification. So there is no industry. It's the same thing in the army and even in the police force. Ask them the same question. Are all the constables on the street or everyone in the army unfit? The answer is no. Because people get to choose what they want to do. Now, I'm not here to motivate you to look after your health. Motivation is an emotion that fades in and fades out. One day it's strong, one day it's weak, but discipline is a decision. I'm not here to motivate you to be disciplined. The point is, you do in life what you value. So if you value your work more than your health, your work wins. If you value travel more than sitting in a bar every weekend, travel wins. What you make a priority in your mind wins. So when a patient who's not cared about their life comes to us with cancer, obviously we don't have to motivate or inspire them anymore, right? Because now what's become the most valuable to them? Living, life. They will do anything to get better. So the whole idea is, if we're trying to make a change today, we're trying to move to a little more exercise, a little better sleep, a little better mental peace, maybe getting 2 meals out of 3 meals right, maybe not overeating. It starts with you making your health important in your mind. If all of you get a Rolls Royce right now, do you need to be motivated to look after it? No, why? Because it has a certain value that your mind has assigned to it. So whatever your mind assigns value to becomes the most important part of your life. Now, no one's wrong over here because all of us have gone through that conditioning that I have to work hard, I have to provide for my family, I need to save, all of those things, and that's good. But can you do it without the cost of your health? Can you do it without the cost of your health? Today, we sit in a line of work where we've seen people who have sacrificed their life to build money and build whatever, and they're sadly just spending it to get their health back again. That can be changed. It can be changed. And my solution is not that you have to join a gym, buy organic food, get a special mattress to sleep on. No, that's the complicated part. The simple part is, can you make 15 minutes of exercise consistent? Can you start to be consistent with your food choices? Of course, have junk. Have 10% of junk, but it cannot become your primary diet. Can you reduce things that are affecting your health, like maybe smoking? Why do you need to finish a whole bottle of whiskey? Can you drink a little lesser and still have? The point is little changes. But even this is motivation unless you've decided in your mind that, hey, I need my health to get me through everything. Our biggest challenges are when people say, Luke, I want to stop smoking. I'm now about to have a baby, and I don't want to smoke anymore. And he said, I don't know how to do it. So I said, if your baby grows up and tells you, Dad, I don't want you to smoke anymore, will you listen? I said, absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. Again, it's a context of value and respect that comes in. So the point is, I think to answer your question, everything starts with a mindset change. You're not going to work out today because I've spoken about workouts. You're going to want to work out because, hey, you've suddenly decided that, yeah, that movement aligns with my values. My values of my health is important to me. So the point is, mindset is everything.
And I think a classic example to that is Steve Jobs, who probably had everything but yet had nothing, right? So, but we still, while these are the strongest minds in the industry, we still need that hack to start, to take that first step. What would that hack be? And tell us, how do we start this so that it becomes a daily process, it becomes a routine, it becomes a part of our value system?
So number one, there are no hacks that work. There are no hacks because your body is biology, chemistry, physiology, everything together. You can't hack through biology. You can't hack through chemistry. These are all these loosely thrown terms on Instagram that makes us think that, oh, wow. And we have 1,000 hacks on Instagram, but how many of us do it? I want to go back again what you said. Strong minds. What has it taken your mind to build what you have today? How have you been able to build what you have? What are those words? What are those values? It's the same thing you put towards health. That's it. That's it. Yep. So if you use discipline to build your work, you use discipline to build your health. If you use consistency to build your businesses, You bring consistency into a little bit of workout, into a little bit of sleep. That's it. That's it. The human body doesn't require much until we're really sick. It requires little things. Even increasing your sleep by 20 minutes has a dramatic impact on every cell in your body. Like, let's say you're having a bad meal right now. You're having French fries and an ice cream. Can you add something good with it so that your body gets something good along with the bad? It's all about balancing it. Workouts, you don't have time. How many of y'all are at airports? Even if you're traveling first class, you still got to be at the airport 2 hours before. 1 hour, walk up and down, get your steps, sit on the flight. I mean, there are innumerable things that we can do if we challenge our mindset that, oh, airport, I need to work, airport, I need to sit in the lounge, airport, I need to do this. Challenge your mindset, and you will find time, because the biggest lie is a lack of time. The biggest lie that we tell ourselves is a lack of time. Now, if you need 1 hour for the gym, 20 minutes for your cold plunge, 20 minutes for your red light therapy and all of that stuff, that's a different thing. But the point is, the healthiest people are built in the least amount of time, unless, of course, you're a bodybuilder, sports person, you need more investment. The key word is consistency. So think, anything that you've been successful in life, what got you there? What are those values? What are those behaviors and actions? That is the same thing you apply to 1, your nutrition, 2, your movement and exercise, 3, your sleep, and 4, your emotional health. And you have to get better. So you don't need hacks through all of these things. You need different methods. When you all fly back, you're going to be at the airport. How are you going to choose to use that time at the airport? I know Goa, you can get a beer at the airport, but hey, you can get a beer at home too. The point is, how will you use that time? Today, you'll have a whole day ahead. You'll have a buffet. You still have the control and power to choose what you take from the buffet. How much you eat. People say, Luke, I'm a foodie, so eat. But there's a difference between a foodie and a greedy foodie. You eat what you want, but why must you overeat? Eat, enjoy, but don't overeat it, right? So the point is, all the little things work. Always, it's the little things that work.
You know, Luke, I'm going to give you a funny incident. So I've been a runner all my life, and one fine day, I had a swollen knee. You know, it still is swollen for years now, and the hack that I put up was, I put up Usain Bolt's picture in my bedroom, and every morning when I woke up, I said, I have to resurrect. There was a time where I was limping and walking, literally, and this is after me founding Pinkathon, and you know, for me, that was also a pressure that, oh my God, I'm leading Pinkathon, and you know, I can't run any longer, and it was depressing, right? So I put up Usain Bolt's picture. I listened to his words. I listened to runners' podcasts. I listened to all of that, and that really helped me. I think this is, you know, a few hacks that, as someone in fitness, I practice. So, you know, this is just a small story from my side. But you're also your holistic wellness. You know, a lot of people believe that, you know, you're a nutritionist. A lot of people believe that, you know, you just prescribe what kind of food you should eat. But, you know, when I spoke to you, it's holistic fitness. It's holistic health. What are and you know, you built it on 6 pillars. Very, very strategic pillars. I would love you to enlighten our audience on those 6 pillars that you function with, you know, for...
So most people today don't need diets. Everyone knows already. All of you know what you should eat and what you should not eat, right? Come on, everyone knows that? What you should be eating and what you shouldn't be eating. It's different when, of course, you have a disease, because then you got to eat according to the medication you're taking, according to the disease you have. Other than that, so our first pillar, and these 6 pillars are not based on what we think is good. It's based on human anatomy. It's based on what the human body requires. So when I'm telling you to exercise, it's not because I think you should exercise. It's what your body needs for your own health, for your heart, for your prevention. So the first pillar is nutrition. Simple. What you feed yourself. You feed yourself junk, you get the outcome of junk. You feed yourself fad diets, you get the outcome of fad diets. You feed yourself simple food, but you're getting your macros right, your protein, your fat. With simple foods, you get that. It's as simple as that. You're eating too much of outside food. Everyone knows that every restaurant makes food taste good in 3 ways: salt, sugar, and oil. It's as simple as that. Doesn't mean we can't eat out in the restaurants, but the point is, if we're eating out too often, then we got to be better with our choices. How can we select steamed food or maybe salads or something like that if we're being continuous in our actions of having to eat out? So nutrition is the first pillar. You get your vitamins from that, your minerals from that, everything that you need for your hair, your skin, and everything else. The second pillar is movement. I'm not even going to say exercise. When the human body stops moving or we're sedentary, there's a lot of negative change that happens automatically. Your blood flow slows down, circulation slows down, your hunger increases, everything is dependent on movement. Now that movement for you, what does the body need? What does the body need? What do you think you're going to need when you're 60, 70, and 80? What do you think your body's going to need? Muscle strength for you to get up from a chair, move. Look around at the elderly population today. How many people cannot even get out of a chair without assistance? That is neglect of physical activity. Today we have knowledge. We don't have to reach there. Number two, sitting. If your job requires you to sit, that's okay. But what you do at the end of your day is important. How do you do exercises that counter sitting? When you're sitting, you're going to have a lower back problem, your glutes are going to be tight, your hip flexors. So simple forward bends, child poses, sitting in a malasana squat helps you counter long sitting. So the idea is not to say that you shouldn't be sitting. Sit, but do something to counter your activity of sitting too late. So we need strength. You can do that through calisthenics, using your own body weight. You can do that in the gym. You can do it through Pilates, stamina and endurance, through your running, walking, your yoga for flexibility and mobility. These are all the things that the body needs. You need mobility, you need flexibility, you need strength, stamina, cardiovascular activity. So now you look at your workouts and decide, is this giving my body what it's going to need now, 5 years later, and 10 years later? So a lot of people say, Luke, my job requires me to walk up and down. Is walking all that your body requires? Great, you're getting steps, you're active. How are you building strength? How are you building flexibility? How are you building mobility? So maybe one day you focus on mobility, one day you focus on strength. It's up to you. When you do exercises like yoga, they do everything except, of course, the muscle building part. When you do calisthenics, it does the muscle building part. So now you look at your day, how much time you have, and try to build a workout around that, not around Instagram. It'll make all of us feel inadequate right now if we try to build a workout as per Instagram, right? We want to build a workout according to how much of time we have available in the day, where we are we traveling, are we not traveling, and that's it. Set these little intentions. That's your second pillar, exercise. The third is sleep, non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Today, medical science directly correlates every disease with sleep deprivation. Now you may think, but I'm doing an event late at night. That's okay. As long as you make up your sleep, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You have to be awake till 3 in the morning, you got to wake up later in the morning. The problem happens is when you sleep late, but you still want to wake up early, now you're sleep deprived. We can get through 1 or 2 nights of sleep deprivation, but we start pushing it. We have problems of weight gain, hormonal issues. Most women having PCOS, PCOD, endometriosis in our country is because of sleep deprivation and stress, number 1. Very rare will you find a young girl having it because of junk food. So the point is, exercise and sleep. The fourth pillar is your emotional wellness. This doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It also doesn't mean you have to be sad all the time. It means we need to find balance in our emotions. Anxiety, all of these things. People say, but Luke, I'm anxious. Everyone needs to understand that anxiety happens only 2 ways in life for every human being. It is your want to be in control of a person or a thing. That is your anxiety. You want to be in control of a situation. The only way out of anxiety is learning to let go of control. Learning to only take action where it is and learning to release everything else. But today when we do a simple test for everyone, simple. Think of everything that's stressing you out in your life right now. Person or thing. And decide, right, what is in your control, what is out of your control. Most people will be stressing on the things and people that are out of your control, which is a waste of energy and a waste of emotion. But that's where our ego and pride comes in. No, I can change this. You can't change everything in life. No one is in control of everything. No one is even in control of the next moment or the next 1 hour. But we're taught to be in control of everything. Now, of course, we want to be in control of the way the event goes. Of course, I want to be in control of my patient's journey. But that, we can only plant the seeds, the actions. You still don't know the outcome until it happens. But imagine moving your energy from anxiety into action. So come back to that column. Things and people, what is in your control, what is out of your control? What is in your control, write down all the actions you can take and take it. That's the only thing you can do. What is out of your control, there are only 3 actions. Can anyone tell me what these 3 actions are? Acceptance, letting go, surrender. There's nothing else you can do. Tell me, is there anything else you can do? There is nothing you can do to control things and people that cannot be controlled. But we don't. Why is acceptance so difficult? Why is letting go so difficult? Why is surrender so difficult? Because we want to be in control. The ego kicks in, pride kicks in. So when you actually break things down, you only realize that we're in control of the actions that we can influence. So people even come up to me that, Luke, I'm joining your program, but you have to tell me I'm not going to get cancer and a heart attack. I say, I can only help you with the actions you need to take. But nothing can be guaranteed. So people only want to take actions if they're guaranteed a result. And that's where, again, we fail with exercise and everything else, because we don't get to see the results immediately, right? So we say, oh, exercise has no value in my life because we're not getting to see the results. What's the point of sleep? Because you don't get to see visible results. And then the next pillar is your breath. Constantly. Our breath is supposed to be natural. The moment your breath is out of control, you have nervous system dysregulation, which is anxiety, stress, fear, negativity. How many of you have felt the best in your life and at the same time felt that you want to pull down your friend or bitch about someone or say something negative? It's impossible. You can't do the same when you're vibrating at that energy of feeling so good about yourself. We can only do negative things when we're vibrating at the energy of being negative and thinking negative. So your breath is a great indicator for us to really be calm, like, what am I getting out of pulling this person down? What am I getting out of trolling that guy? What am I getting out of bitching about that person's weight? You know, and that moves you into your last pillar, which is your spirit. I'm not talking religion. Your connection with yourself. Most people don't care about themselves, and that's why their health or what is important in life is no longer important to them. But they will put that consolation in, but I'm doing it for my family, but I'm doing it for this. No, do it for your family and do it for yourself. I think your family will want you with better health more than with just money. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's different in Goa today. People will fight for property irrespective of health, all of that stuff. But the point is, the spirit is the last. So today, to get everything right that I spoke to you, you can actually only make progress if you're connected with yourself. You want to get better emotionally, it starts with your connection with yourself. You want to get better at sleep, most people can't sleep because they're stressed out. The mind's constantly thinking, like we think that the more we think, the more our problems will get solved. But most people are overthinking the problem. Imagine moving the energy into the solution rather than going on to the same problem. Oh, my husband's like this, my wife is like, you know he's a problem, you know she's a problem. The point is, what actions are you taking? What actions are you taking? So right now in our world, we actually have a lack of action, not a lack of knowledge, not a lack of content. We have a lack of action and behavior. And it all stems because we're broken. We're totally trying to connect with things that are outside of us. More friends, more alcohol, I don't have a problem with these things, but those are connections that take you outwards. You want to build on the connections that connect you with yourself. And then you wake up one day and say, hey, this is me, this is my life. I want to look after my health. I want to make these little changes. So that's how it starts. These are our pillars.
Also a lot of scrolling and a lot of reels and a lot of Instagram and a lot of digital content consumption. But speaking of your second pillar, which is exercise, and I think how many people here exercise on a daily basis? Wow, so we have a push-up challenge coming up with Luke, and right here on the stage, how many of you are up for it?
So I'll just speak about that. You know, whenever you're traveling, and if you have just 5 minutes, let's say you've missed your workout because you're busy, it's the end of your day. What are those 2 exercises that you can do in less than 10 minutes, actually sometimes less than 5 minutes, that can still give you the feeling that you've worked out? One is a push-up and one is a squat. Because you train every muscle in the body. And if you have a pull-up bar, then that's the ultimate. Just a push-up and a squat, not one push-up and one squat. You want to build towards, but just imagine you can do 10 push-ups and you can do 10 squats and you repeat it in 3 sets, less than 5 minutes. And this is what I mean. Even doing these little things takes your health up rather than doing nothing at all. So yeah, I think whoever wants to do a push-up can come up on stage right now.
All right, there we have the first guy.
You can do supported push-ups on your knees if you want.
Yeah,
even if you've never done a push-up, you can come up right now.
Let's have some fun, guys. Come on here.
Yeah, okay.
Come.
Whatever y'all want to do, that's
whatever.
Come up, yeah. Even if someone's not done a push-up, but you want to do it, just come up.
Wow.
How many of you go to the gym and stop going to the gym because you see people better than you? So that can stop right now. You go to a gym for yourself, right? No one's really looking at you. So anyone else up for a push-up challenge?
Brian.
You can do it supported on your knees as well.
Woohoo!
That's
Fantastic. Okay, we need, oh wow, Raja's here too. We need to have some music. Luke, are we allowed some music?
You're allowed, as long as you do the push-ups, I don't care what you're...
Oh wow,
All right,
look at that. So see, we are a fit industry, we're not bad.
All right.
Like,
Okay, so there's no target.
Okay.
Just keep going. You want to take a break in between, you want to continue going, it's up to you. All right? Yeah,
Okay.
push-ups. You can do it supported on your knees, you can do it full. It's completely up to you. Yeah? All right.
Luke, are you going to do?
I'll actually just check form.
Okay.
You want me to do it with them?
Yeah, we would love to.
Okay, all right, let's do push-ups together.
Okay,
All right?
fantastic.
Oh,
Give me your
Brian,
mic.
good to see you.
You want to hold the mic?
No, I don't need the mic.
Okay, give me.
All right, great. All right, let's do it.
Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. Woohoo! Thanks, Ryan. Wow. Okay then. Wow, Tanaz, that's amazing. Yeah, she's flanking, and how beautifully. Look at the form. Wow. Wonderful, wonderful. Huge round of applause, guys. Huge round of applause. Look here. Yeah.
So this took less than 2 minutes. But they've trained every muscle in their upper body in 2 minutes. So imagine if you did this twice a day on the days that you miss your workout, and then followed by you want to demonstrate a squat. Come on, guys.
Okay, just a second. But for all the fitness enthusiasts, a quick picture with Luke. Where's the photographer? Come on, guys. Oh, sorry.
All right, we can do squat.
One.
Yeah.
Take a quick picture. Oh, squatting? Now we're squatting?
There's a picture. Yeah. Just to demonstrate what can be done. All right. Yeah, don't do a full squat if your pants are tight. Yeah. Just do All right, let's do squats.
Okay,
So again,
squats.
something that trains all the muscles of your lower body and your core.
Should everybody
Even the
stand up
push-up
there?
will
also?
train your
Come,
core.
come.
All right? So we move
All of
into-
you. Let's all of us do squats. Come.
It's that simple.
Squats, everybody in the audience too. Come on.
That's it. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. I think that's cool. Thank you so much. Amazing.
All the murgas of the industry. These are murgas of the industry. What's it? Thank you, Luke. We're
if
not
you
done
can-
with your questions yet, so yeah, you can
Yeah.
continue.
So if you can see, they've trained their upper body and they've trained their lower body. Now, if you just did 3 sets of this, you're actually done for the day. Something better than nothing, and you've trained every muscle in the body. So this is something that everyone has the ability. Of course, you have an injury disclaimer, but for everyone else, that's how simple it is. So, yeah.
That was amazing. You know, now let me come to the other side of things, and probably we don't have knowledge about these things, but a lot of entrepreneurs are taking this step for weight loss, and that is the famous drug, Ozempic, Mounjaro. What is your view, you know, whether it should be taken, not taken? What is your view on this entire fad that's in the market at this point of time?
So,
And because a lot of we feel it's a shortcut, but maybe it's necessary. What is your view?
So basically, medically, Ozempic, Mounjaro, they were made for patients who were over 100 kilos with metabolic syndrome, which means high blood pressure, a large waist circumference, diabetes, and high inflammation levels. The drug was made for that population, and it works beautifully for that population. So when you take a drug that's made for a particular population, and you don't fall in that population, and you take it, what do you think is going to happen? There's your answer. All right, so it's used as a shortcut today. It doesn't come without side effects of muscle wasting, gut issues, possible thyroid issues, possible thyroid cancer in rare cases. There is no shortcut, because the second thing is the drug works by suppressing your appetite. It doesn't teach you to change your behavior around food. So what happens when you finish your injections? If you go back to eating your food and you've not learned to control portions, you put all the weight back on again. You go back to your doctor and he can give it you another time. The third time he can't give it you anymore. Then what happens? Because you've not trained your appetite, you've not trained your behavior around food, you've lost muscle, you have gut inflammation, you start to put on all the weight and maybe even double of it again. Now, people are still going to do it. So what's the right way of doing it if you do it? You have to train muscle. Because if you waste muscle, your metabolic rate falls down. And your metabolic rate is what helps you burn body fat. You have to look at your gut issues. If you have extreme gut issues like constipation, IBS, acidity, bloating, fix that first before you get on the drug. The third thing is, I always say, if you want to go in for the drug, that's your choice. But 1 month before you start it, start to change your behavior around food. You start to control your portions. You start to do this, because that drug is not permanent for you. Okay? So if the drug works on the principle of appetite suppression, what does it tell us in real life? That if we just control our behavior around food and our portions, we can get the same results. It's just that the drug makes it easier because it's doing the job of your battle between you and willpower. So that's how it is. These are not drugs to be fooled around with. There's a space for them. It can be used, it can save people's lives, but for people trying to use it to lose 7 kilos, 8 kilos, but they're not changing their lifestyle around, it becomes something called, there's a word for it as well. It's a psychiatric issue later, because now you're getting all the compliments because you're losing weight rapidly. So what happens when you start getting compliments? You feel so good about yourself. After this, I forget the term, when people put the weight back on, they stop going out in public. They stop going out in public. It's a huge issue. So, of course, Instagram and everyone will just show you the nice side of it, but it comes with its, anything too good to be true in life comes with its dangers. Always remember the rose and the thorn. That's how it is. Yeah.
So there is one more myth that we would like to break here, is that supplements, vitamin supplements, calcium supplements, all of these supplements, are they really necessary again, or is just another fad?
Yeah, of course, if you have a deficiency, you need supplements. If you can't get your vitamins and minerals from certain foods, certain people go through issues. They have colitis, they have IBS, and they can't absorb nutrients from the food. You will need supplementation. But then again, there are good supplements and there are bad supplements. The cheaper the supplement, the more dangerous the supplement is. That's how it is. Remember, India is a mass market mentality that we have, which means everyone is trying to get the price point right for the masses, because you can build a scalable business only around the masses. But when you really look at the cost of good collagen, really good omega, they're very expensive. So how do you make a supplement cheap? By using cheap ingredients. So that mentality is actually more dangerous than supplements, because people are spending lesser money on supplements that they think can really help you. And you have liver issues, you have kidney issues. Now you have a deficiency of D3, of course we'll put you on a supplement. You have a B12 deficiency, of course we'll correct it with a supplementation and food. Some people who are healthy, we'll correct it with food. Some people will need supplements. The more fancily marketed the supplement is, claiming it can do this, this, this. Remember, a supplement can never do something alone. Like collagen is useless if you don't have the right amount of vitamin C in you. Iron supplements are useless without vitamin C. Magnesium is useless without calcium. D3 is useless without calcium and magnesium. So when you start talking about this, then a company comes up with, oh, we now have D3, K2, and everything in one supplement. You see? So it's synergistic. There's no magic supplement. When you're sick and you have a cold and cough and your doctor gives you a vitamin C, your vitamin C cannot work alone to boost your immune system. It's vitamin C and rest. Because when you're resting, you're in the parasympathetic nervous system. You put the body in a state of repair. Vitamin C can now do its job. You take vitamin C when you're stressed, it's useless. So you see, these are the things about supplements. You know, I'm a fan of supplements where it's needed. But can it replace something? Everyone's talking about NAD for longevity. What is the precursor of NAD? Vitamin B3. Where do we find vitamin B3? In what kind of foods? Your nuts, your seeds, your green leafy vegetables. Forget about it. We don't want to eat that. You can even just buy a normal vitamin B3 supplement, which will convert eventually into NAD. So the point is, by you taking NAD, do you really think you're going to live longer? It's absolute inaccurate BS. There's no one drug that can help you. There's no one supplement that can help you to get better. So that's how it is about supplements. Be careful of quality, especially in India. The amount of spurious brands, the amount of heavy metals in brands, synthetic ingredients. In all of these vitamins, you want to be very careful and use them very, very strategically, only if you need them.
I think it's a completely different topic. Now I believe even our spices are adulterated, and so it's you don't know where the limit is. But coming back to the industry. Like we said, that it's a highly stressed industry, highly fatigued industry, and we actually compensate our health for everything else. And this is from the entrepreneur all the way to the bottom line. How do we change this culture? Of course, like companies like TCS probably imbibe fitness, and every day is a fit employee, is a fit organization. In our world, everything else precedes fitness, right? So how do we start that culture? What is the stepping stone? Where do we address this issue? How do we go about making a change?
See, I can give you the bitter, ugly truth, or I can give you a nice, sugar-coated. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so cool. Every corporate that we work with fitness that does things for employees are the ones who continue to struggle the most, because it is an individual responsibility, period. Each of y'all have to decide, and you as a leader today of your industry or your particular company, if you decide to lead health, it'll trickle down to your employees. If you don't expect your employees to do that. It's as simple as that. It's a personal responsibility. We see companies, huge companies, having massive budgets for employee wellness and all of that stuff, but you still have the issue of employees not doing it because no one's worked on them to make it a personal responsibility. So today employees are even, my company doesn't do enough for my health. What do you mean? It's not your company's job to do anything for your health. If your company has an issue and is making you, work hard, all of that, that's their responsibility. But it's not their responsibility to look after your health. Secondly, let's address the concept of burnout, which in our country is a huge lie, and the media loves it. When you go to the top companies and people say, hey, Luke, we're burning out, I'll say, okay, bring all the people in the company who are burning out in a room. In a company as big as lakhs of employees, 6 or 7 of them will come into the room. What is burnout? Out of these 6 or 7 employees burning out, 2 or 3 of them have very toxic managers, and that's probably the reason they're burning out. The other ones, when you break down their day, they're working 10 hours. What they do after work? They go out, they're with their friends, they skip a meal, they go to the bar, they get drunk, they go home, watch TV. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm giving you an example. Who's burning them out? Their lifestyle or the company? Like I said, for a company to say we're burning out, everyone or 90% should be burning out. But I've never come across a single company yet till today where everyone's burning out. Now you have genuine cases. An employee going home, caregiver, sick mother, sick father, has to juggle their health, emotional pressure, all of that. Yes, you can help them with tools to prevent burnout. But how many of us are burning ourselves out with our own lifestyle and choices, but blaming it on work hours and blaming it on time? And most of you will find that that's what's actually happening. We're burning ourselves out. So when it comes to health, it's a personal responsibility. How many of you are parents? How many of you believe your child's health is their personal responsibility? We have to. We have to. We can only provide them with the platform. Finally, they have to look after their own health. But today you have parents fighting with the schools. It's not the school's job to keep your child healthy. To create the infrastructure, yes. So the point is, it comes down to personal responsibility. You all shouldn't even have a budget. I don't in my own company have a budget that goes towards their thing. Because when I hire them, we check, are you responsible for your own health? You are responsible for your own health. At the most, we'll give them an annual checkup because I like to see the data that comes in. And other than that, we'll encourage them to do everything, but we don't have a budget going towards them because it is our value system that it is a personal responsibility. Now, you want help? We can help you. But it is your responsibility to put everything in place. And that's how I encourage all the future leaders to stop doing that. We have to start moving from this woke culture to awake. This is a woke culture where employees are dependent on their companies to tell them to work out, tell them to, everyone knows these things. So we have to, I love the name of your thing. We have to move to a phase of inspiration, not motivation anymore. Try motivating your employees. You're going to keep on investing in them. Try inspiring them, and the whole narrative changes.
Yes, that was beautifully said. In fact, this realization happened to us, some time back, and we actually tagged our company as Live to Inspire. So everything that we did in the company was live to inspire, create to inspire. Everything was to inspire. And thank you, Luke, for that insight. Coming down to the beautiful phase of your life, which is, the Calm Prescription, which is your newest book. How would us entrepreneurs take away, and what would we take away from that book? Because it sounds so amazing, and the calm that we require in our, the storm that we bring in our world. So how does this book pertain to us?
So the reason we wrote this book, The Calm Prescription, is because honestly, at this point in my life, I believe that's what 99% of our patients need. They just need to calm down and slow down. Our top cardiologists, our oncologists who work with us, and a lot of them have written chapters in the book as well. They say, Luke, we no longer see tumors. We no longer see blockages. We just see this human filled with so much of stress. And that's the reason we wrote the book. Because like I said, we already know what to eat, exercise. So we wrote a book putting 75 simple techniques that don't cost you any money. Remember, it gets expensive when we start losing our health. But the point is, the book talks about 75 little ways that anywhere, whoever we are, doesn't matter where we are in the world, there are little techniques that we can use to immediately find that calm, find that calm, find that calm, come back down to baseline. The beauty of the human body is we can be pushed into high stress, and our bodies respond beautifully as long as, like a rubber band, we got to come back to baseline. We got to come back to baseline. The problem is today people are not coming back to baseline. They're stressed and getting more stressed or stuck in that chronic stress. So the book teaches you that no matter what's happening, there are still ways to come back to the baseline. Still come back to the baseline. And that's how the human body works. The book doesn't preach that you have to be calm all the time. Then your profession is going to fail, for sure.
But Luke, our profession is that, coming back to baseline. Have you ever heard that, guys? I don't think we ever come
so make the change.
Event after event after event.
So make the change. What do you do between those two events? What do you do between an event happening? There's a lot that you can do. So unless we change that mindset, then if the mindset is already that, oh, we're in an industry that we can't find calm, nothing can change that. Yes. Everyone has the ability to find calm, and if you don't find it, you'll find it when you're sick. You'll be forced to slow down. You will. We see so many entrepreneurs, billionaires, who are forced to slow down. They're forced to slow down. So the point is, you don't want to really reach that stage because that's a difficult stage for you emotionally. That's when depression sets in because you feel, oh, I was so powerful, now I'm in a bed, I can't move, all of that stuff. Disease is difficult. It's not impossible to help, but the mind comes in between. Now I'm useless. People respected me when I went to work. Now I'm working from home. I can't move out. So the point is, invest in prevention. It's simple. You can do so many things even if you're moving from event after event. There are so many ways to come back down to baseline. And that's exactly what the book talks about.
That's fantastic. This is also inspirational, but I would love to know, Luke, what is a day like in Luke's life? You're constantly meeting stressed people. You're constantly discussing issues that are probably only negative and not positive because they come to you with negative issues, right? How do you deal with a day in your life, and how do you go about each day? I think that'll be a huge learning for us because we're dealing with so much and so many people and their expectations at all point of time. How do you deal with this?
I think I've learned over the years, I'm not yet perfect with that because you're dealing with not just the patient, you're dealing with ego, pride, attitude, entitlement, people who are scared of death, people who come in with superstitions and all of these things, emotions to navigate. But it's easy now because we don't attach ourselves emotionally to it. When you first started, you attached yourself emotionally to everything that came. But after a while, there's only one thing that you can, and I tell my team every morning, the only one thing we can do is do our best. That's it. That's it. We can only do our best, and I want you to feel guilty if you haven't done your best. So a normal day for me is, I'm a morning person, so I'm up early in the morning because I have US patients that start at about 7 o'clock. So 7 to 9, I see patients, then I have a coffee break, I go to a cafe, have a coffee, plan my day, then I start my next set of patients between 10 and 12. 12 to 1 is my workout time in between my patients, so I have a break. Then I have lunch, then I see patients from 3 to 5, then 5 to 8, I'm free. And then 1 hour in the night, just in case I have US because of the time zone and stuff like that. So I have my breaks in between to come back to baseline. It's important for me. Sleep is non-negotiable. I can't function without sleep. So sleep will be my priority. I do take breaks, maybe on the weekend. Maybe instead of doing 15 patients a day, I'll do maybe 1 or 2 if it's very urgent. But I think life teaches you along the way. Like 5 years ago, I felt I could do a lot more. Right now, I choose to do lesser, build a team, delegate, all of that stuff. So we find our own ways. That's why I can't preach to you that this is the best way. You will find your way, but keep looking for ways to build in that little health or calm in your life. Because if you don't, your life is going to define what you do every single day. I make time to travel, I make time to, so I wouldn't say my life is stressful. After a point in medicine, you learn how to not emotionally be connected with other people's suffering. And you learn to separate the story that, hey, that's your story, let's work on that. You don't make it your story. So these are some of the ways and techniques that we use, basically.
Thank you, Luke, once again. What has been your biggest failure, and what did it teach you?
Failure.
I have no failures, no.
No, I can't say no failures, but I think I've trained my mind in a way that if some, I don't really want to call it a failure. I really can't answer your question, actually.
Really?
I learn from mistakes, but I don't see them as failures. Failure, like go back into some past relationships, you think, oh, you failed, but actually on the other side, I was super happy and not in it anymore, so it's not a failure. So actually, I've never seen anything as like a complete
wow,
failure.
that is epic.
So I don't have an answer for that, sorry. Yeah.
Wonderful. So many times I've been asked that question, and I keep thinking that life has given us so much. I don't know if I ever want to focus on the failures, right? I think it's filled with gratitude. I think it's filled with applause in my own mind. And I think, you just answered my question that maybe I was thinking wrong, maybe I was conceited, maybe I didn't think right. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for that insight. And before I end this amazing session, I want to do a quick rapid fire with you. Yeah? Everybody ready with that one? And then we will open up for Q&A. I'm sure the world has questions. This is something that we would all like to get insights on, is that one food before a big pitch.
Before a big binge.
Pitch. We are making a pitch to a client, so which is that food that we should eat before we
Technically, the best pitch would happen when you're on an empty stomach. Because you want all the blood in your brain not digesting any food. But if it had to be something, it would be something that digests quickly, so it would be a fruit.
Fruit. A daily habit that changed your life.
Sleep. Yeah.
How many hours of sleep should we get in a day?
It depends. It depends on the depth of your sleep, not the quantity. So some people can sleep 6 hours, deep sleep, wake up fresh. Some people sleep 9 hours, disturb sleep, and they wake up tired. For me, it's about 7.5 to 8. Yeah.
7.5 to 8. A wellness myth that drives you crazy.
Like the fat makes you fat, or that there are hacks to weight loss.
One word that defines a great leader.
A great?
Leader.
A great leader. Discipline, for sure.
Sorry?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah.
And consistency, maybe.
Yeah.
Most underrated Indian superfood.
Moringa and the, what's that?
Amla.
Amla. The Indian gooseberry. These are the most underrated superfoods, yeah.
Girlfriend or wife?
Both. Yeah.
What do you...
Make sure this doesn't come on Instagram, okay? It's a rapid fire. You didn't ask for the truth, right? Yeah, so I was in Africa, okay? And I spent a lot of time with the Maasai tribe and all of that stuff. And they'll ask you a question like, how many girlfriends do you have? And you say, I'm married and I have a wife. But how many girlfriends do you have? It's like such a norm for them that, I just wanted to bring that humor there, yeah.
Fantastic. That was the end of my session. Thank you very much, guys. And now it's open to you guys. A quick Q&A with you.
A quick one.
Sorry?
We'll do a quick one, Annie.
A quick one because he has a lot of patients to attend to. So yeah, go on, guys.
Hi, Luke.
Hi.
So my question is, I think all of us have a very erratic schedule while we try to follow discipline. I think the most important part is how do we get a fully a balanced diet, or what should be the composition of food? Because I think most of the time, even if we are eating right, we're not eating on time.
Yeah.
As in the discipline with consumption of food usually is a big challenge for what we do.
Yeah, it's a great question. So according to the field of your work, you've got to see what you can get right. You're never going to get 100% right. So when it comes to a balanced diet, at least choose the right foods. If you can't keep the same timings, let me tell you how we fixed the problem with the CISF, you know, the security at the airports. They work different shifts, 3 hours, 5 hours, 9 hours, they sleep. It's constantly changing. They have acidity as their biggest issue because of erratic timings. They get healthy food to eat, but they can't eat it on time. So they always keep nuts in their pocket. Almonds, peanuts. So if you're missing a meal, the idea is to keep something going. So even if it's not a bar, because it's different to find an honest bar in our country, keep some almonds, keep some peanuts, keep some pumpkin seeds, okay? And then get the other part right. Now, when you do sit down for your meal, you can still get a lot right by choosing what you want to eat. So we're never always going to get it right, unless you're a spiritual person, you have no responsibilities in the world, you're sitting in an ashram, then you can get everything clockwork. But most people, or when we retire maybe, so we can only do our best. So in your case, the idea is not to miss meals. If I'm missing a meal, I'll have a bar or I'll have some nuts in my pocket. So I constantly keep my circadian rhythm working. And when it comes to the food choice, wherever you are, you can always make some choice better than another. So that's how you'll bring the balance. We're not aiming for perfection. It is impossible in your industry, in most industries. So break away from perfection and look at what can I get right most of the times, and then be consistent with that. So that's how you fix that problem. Yeah.
Luke, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I think the biggest takeaway today, I came to listen to you talk about food and diet and your 7 pillars, but I take away this, that we have to connect with ourselves. Everything was going hunky-dory with me. I was a national athlete and I represented India for cricket and handball, and then I started with this industry. Everything came to a halt the day my son was diagnosed with cancer and I lost a 21-year-old boy. Grief management was difficult. I ate till I became 113 kgs, totally unfit. Now in the room, we have people who might have also have gone through this path. You know, all of us come to those crossroads where food becomes the only friend we have. I ask you, when many of us have these moments, the mind becomes a monkey and food is just an avenue of happiness. What would you tell us, people like us who go through pain every day? How do we handle this?
So great. Sorry for your loss, and thanks for expressing that emotion. So I would not take away food. I would not take away food because that's not going to solve the problem. We get deeper. Human connection. The earliest civilizations have managed the most insane grief through community and connection. In today's world, we want to move away from everyone. We don't want to go, not you, we don't want to go through our grieving process. We immediately want to come back to work. We have to go through the emotions that life presents us. So the only way out of this is because you can go on eating, but the point is you're eating because you're trying to fill a void. You know that food's not going to fill the void. It's not even going to help you overcome the grief. It's a Band-Aid. So now we have to start learning how to connect with people, and that's what the spirit. How do I spend more time with that friend, with that parent, with that sibling? And you actually invest in those connections that help you overcome grief. For you, it's food. For someone else, it's drugs. For someone else, it's alcohol, right? That's how it is today. Most of us are chasing to fill these voids because there's a lack of connection. And that is why the spirit is the most important. If you go back to the traditions of our own country, till date, there is a grieving process. Don't get me wrong, I think for Hindus it's a particular amount of days. For Catholics it's about 9 days. For Muslims it's about 30 days or something like that. But there is so much of wisdom in those phases. But we don't want to go through it because we don't want to face those emotions. We don't want to cry. We don't want to think of regret. We don't want to think of these things. But the only way out of deep emotions is first by facing them. So yes, we will always turn to food, and it's easy for me to say, don't eat your emotions, don't go to food. But it's the wrong thing. At least it's supporting you. So when we're turning to food to fill a particular emotion, we need to understand you can do that for some time. You have to face the situation on. And that's when people connect with spirituality, communities. They find solace in religion. They go to places to pray. They find that peace coming in because it's nothing but lost peace. So that's one way of looking at it, but I would never say stop eating because you need the void to be filled. But what is life telling you? You're filling it the wrong way. You finally have to do the work and face that emotion for it to slowly disempower. So that's how you look at that. But thank you for sharing that.
Luke, can I go with a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. So all of us over here live quite a chaotic life, very fast. And I want you to highlight on the ultra-processed food, because if we ask this group, how many of you have diabetic and hypertension? I think we'll at least have 40% of them raising their hands up. And I have a partner who had 2 renal transplants. So I know the challenges of these lifestyle diseases. And unfortunately, it's very normalized in an industry like ours. So could you highlight and tell us how do we deal with, because we live off packet food from the counter. So how do we deal with our salt and sugar intake at an unconscious level?
See, this is the same context where you can put cocaine, drugs, and stuff with ultra-processed. How do you deal with drugs? I mean, if you're doing it, it's a different thing, but if you're not, how do you deal with it? By not doing it. That's how dangerous ultra-processed is. Now, don't get me wrong, you have a little bit here and there, it's fine. But if it's your primary meal, you are inflamed and sick at that point. Everything bad can happen. So the point is, if I need to have a bag of chips, can I have a fruit with it? Are we really in that situation where our only choice is only ultra-processed? Come on, guys and women, be honest. Or is there a better choice in even that shop? Like some nuts, some seeds, there is always a choice. Ultra-processed is addictive, and that's why we find it difficult to break it. But ultra-processed is not food. It is inflammation in a packet, period. That's how it is. So there are certain things that there's no gray area. It's either this or it's either that. But we got to change that mindset. Like no one put up their hand. Are we ever in a situation where our only choice is ultra-processed alone? We're not. How difficult is it for us to plan to carry a trail mix of nuts with us, a whole fruit bar, or whatever, because that's one of the cleanest bars I eat. How difficult is it for us to plan? Even if you're on a flight and you don't want to eat that flight food, what can you carry on that flight? We have the ability to make choices, but ultra-processed is inflammation in a packet. Just because they added high protein, it doesn't change it. It is still ultra-processed, and it is not food. And that has become our biggest curse in society right now, because people get addicted to it, and then they want more and more of it. So the point is, have it. I would have a bag of chips a week, have an ice cream a week. I love some junk once in a way, but it's probably 10% of my weekly diet. So we have to make that change. If not, what are 96% of the diseases in our country right now? Inflammatory diseases caused by inflammation, including 96% of the cancers. The balance 4 are genetic. So we have to wake up to certain truths, and we have to wake up to certain lies that we feed our brains that, hey, I'm busy, so this is the only thing I can do. I have people who will actually go hungry rather than put that in their body. But the point is, today we have options around us. We have so many options around us. You have dry fruits, you have nuts. I know it sounds boring. But the point is, it is still a choice. So that's how we handle it. Yeah.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Hi, Luke.
Hi.
Most of us, at least I would say for myself, are dealing with anxiety, stress, overthinking, and that's pretty much a part of what we do in our daily life. What would you recommend as a daily process that we should do? I know breath work definitely helps, but are there ways that we can handle, especially when we are on the job and, living other people's stress, because that's what we are paid for?
Yeah.
What is those cheat sheets, I would call it, or hacks, as Rima said? I know there are no hacks, but is there a flow that we can put into our system which could help us counter those at those particular critical moments? Because again, it does affect our health. So
yeah, absolutely. The biggest contributor of health problems today is stress. So the number one thing is, if your job comes with stress, you want to make peace with it, accept it. That my job is always going to have stress. So there's a certain level of acceptance. There's no resistance, because resistance itself is a stress. Number two, what calms you down? Is it meditation, time with your family, a movie, a walk in nature, exercise? Everyone should have that go-to list of things that you enjoy doing. So even though I may have to accept out of 10 patients a day, 8 are going to be difficult. It's part of my acceptance. Some days you get all 10 that are great, and then that's like a bonus. But I'm prepared for it. I'm already prepared that this can happen. That itself has reduced a whole amount of stress. 3 is your mindset. How do we see stress? As an opportunity, a challenge, or a threat? If we see stress as a threat, we are always going to be anxious, fearful, and everything else. But if we see a problem as a challenge or an opportunity, it changes the way we think or we overthink. So again, everything starts from the mindset. Any change that you want starts in the mindset. Number 4, what in your life are you trying to control that is out of your control? This is a mandatory exercise for everyone to do, because most people will say, oh yeah, I've been trying to control things and people that are out of my control. So, and finally, you as a person, what helps us to become bulletproof to stress? Number 1, our sleep, because sleep makes us wake up more hormonally charged, more in control of our emotions and our neurotransmitters. So our sleep becomes like that bulletproof kind of a thing. So I'm a huge fan of everyone trying to be as ambitious as you can, do as much as you can in life, but prepare yourself for that. If you're taking on more, have you made yourself bulletproof? If you're trying to take on more work, but your foundation of health is weak, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to lose. So these are some of the easiest things that happen. I will throw in the last one because it's brought a lot of people their solution. If you're a spiritual person, your faith and your belief is a huge way to overcome stress. Because today, too many people, too many humans think that it ends with them. They're all in control, but they fail to know that there's some divine power, some people call it God, whatever, that's larger than us. And when we align ourselves with that larger thing, like who all over here think you built your success only because of you? Who all of you think? Is there some power above that? Do we really think that we've achieved everything on our own? Try aligning with that power. It brings a lot of peace in your life automatically. So these are some of the things that we can look at. Yeah? Thank you.
Sorry, one last question.
Right.
Luke, hi. Quick 2.5 questions.
Yeah, really quick, please.
Very quick. First one is the conversation around food. Like, for example, what our parents ate, what our grandparents ate, right? Today, everybody tells you stop eating wheat. The entire north of India survives on wheat. Or somebody says weight loss, stop eating rice. The entire south of India survives on rice. So how do you kind of tackle that, whether today's food vis-a-vis what our parents and grandparents ate, what is the difference? Second question, does fasting help? And third question, 8 hours of sleep with girlfriend or wife, which is better?
Alone. 8 hours of sleep alone. You do your stuff before your sleep. Can't have your sleep disturbed.
I have to answer that for you. I'll answer the last one.
So number one, it's a baseless argument of should we eat what our parents eat, because the quality of food has changed. There's nothing wrong with wheat, but the quality of wheat has changed. So if it doesn't suit you, you don't eat it. If it suits you, you eat it. As simple as that. Every second bodybuilder and athlete eats rice. It doesn't make them fat because they're active. If you eat rice and you're not active, you have a problem with rice. So you have to look at your food chain and decide it's not who's right. We've also advanced as society. We know a lot more than our grandparents knew about different foods, which we can add. So we can't go on holding that thing that, oh, my parents did this, because the quality has changed. Wheat is actually super healthy. It's one of the highest sources of vitamin E. But most of us can't eat it because the food chain's messed up. And the same thing with milk and everyone else. Fasting, it works if it works for you. But if you're fasting and you're sleep deprived, you put a double stress on your body, fasting is going to work against you. So fasting is as simple as keeping a gap between your meals. Let's say you finish your dinner at 8 o'clock, you eat at 8 in the morning, you fasted for 12 hours. But the whole thing of 16-8 is the Western way of putting people into a cookie cutter approach. Why not 15? Why not 17? Why not 16 and a half? The point is, you finish your dinner and see, when do I feel hungry in the morning? If it's after 12 hours, great, that's 12 hours of fasting. If it's 14 hours, you fasted 14 hours. It's going to be different for everyone. But fasting is great, especially when we're living in a world of eating too much and too often. And the sleep thing, it's always like, I mean, it really depends. We can have a whole discussion on that now. Yeah, it depends. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, I have to go now, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
So guys, just a parting thought, and before we leave the stage, I think the word stress is kind of overused in our industry. My personal belief is that when we love what we do, and we do it with all the passion that we have, I think this word stress should completely be abolished because it will not exist when we really love what we do. And I think if this flows down to our people, I think our industry will probably be the most passionate industry alive. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause, please, for Luke. Thank you, Luke, for joining us. And your very candid and practical advice. We'd like to present you with a token of appreciation. I'd request Cassiano Fernandez from Cassant Events to please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Cassiano with a big hand.
So sorry, there are two announcements that I need to make before Cassie gives out this memento. One is, how many of you are attending Imagine? Wow. And how many of you have downloaded the Imagine Walkathon app? Amazing. Okay, so you are all tracking your steps. And for the ones who haven't, please download this after this session. That should be the action we should be taking, the first step towards Udaipur. A lot of effort, again, has gone into planning that one. So please download the app and start tracking your steps from today onwards. Secondly, we have Luke's book right outside. Luke, will you be able to sign those today for us, or you're running? Okay, he's running. But we have the Calm prescription outside up for sale, so you guys can pick up your own copies and get more motivated and inspired. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rima. Luke, we'll just get a quick picture with you and Rima and Cassiano as well before you take our leave. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together one more time, please, for Luke Coutinho and his fantastic advice. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, could we also have a huge round of applause, please, for our lovely moderator, Rima, for moderating the session so beautifully. Thank you, Rima, and thank you, Cassiano.